to be present here and speak about a subject which is very close to my heart. So the subject is transit-oriented development. So these are the two regions that I've been working all through my life in equal quantum. Transit, that is in Delhi Metro, in Gurugram Metro Rail Limited, and Mass Rapid Transport Corporation, Government of Haryana. And in development, Greater Mohali Area Development Authority, Punjab Urban Planning Development Authority, and New Delhi Municipal Council. So it was not a planned career like that, it was destiny, but I feel very blessed that in transit-oriented development, I have experience of both transit and development.
So that's kind of, we cover both the spectrums where we are actually culprits for creating the isolated pockets of transportation, so to speak, because airports really are not, I would say, part of TOD. You may differ from me, but I think they are antithesis of TOD. They help the urban centers, but airports are kind of supplementing the urban development. Unlike the metros, railway stations, rapid transport and BRTs, which are all part of a larger ecosystem of TOD based on our experience and our learning. So hopefully we'll have our two words in as well as part of this discussion.
So if we all see that when the human settlement started, the focus, the central point was the water source. So the water source and the extent of the settlement was the capacity for a person to carry the water to the to a distance. That's how the settlement started. At that point of time, if the work and the living was also at the same place, you used to have the workshop in the front and you would live there. That's how the settlement started. And then came the Industrial Revolution. So if we see the Industrial Revolution, where the work was actually taken out from your living place and it was moved to a different place, and that's where the mobility came into the human settlements. And then right from the horse cart to the railroad to all those different sort of mobility systems started integrating in the cities. And unfortunately now we are at the junction where our planning is the central focus of our planning is mobility rather than the human. So I think that's a very important point which we need to think of whenever we are talking about any sort of development which is taking place. Now, I would just like to add a little bit that we, in our lab at MIT, we started sort of studying some of the cities. And very much you can see any city in the country. We studied Paris. And in Paris, what we see is that what we call in our lab is that 80% of what 80% people need living in the place is available in 1 kilometer radius, which is like 20-minute distance. And that's how the cities develop. And if you see any city where you have come from and where you live, you will see that. And then these small micro centers club together, and that's where the entire city develops. And what you need is that then the connections between that. Now, the development, what we started doing slowly in the recent years is that we started moving the place, making the place by the sort of activity. So you have a place where you stay, you have a place where you sort of work, you have a place where you sort of shop. And these places, when all these things are at a different place, in America, in Boston, when I lived there, if I have to buy a small sort of a headache medicine, I have to take out my car, I have to travel maybe about few miles and go to the place and buy the medicine. Whereas in Delhi, I just need to sort of travel 5 minutes and you have a shop there. So
you want video?
Yeah, so we will just add that what we are trying to do there. I mean, I just wanted to add video. That when our lab started looking at the sort of the new vision for the communities and the cities, we looked at the various metrics, and those metrics were the social, the environmental, and economic performance. And then with the help of the various data-driven and simulation-based processes, we created a model where you sort of understand the new interventions and study them, create a what-if scenarios, and then you do it.
I just wanted to address Prakash ji and what Kapil also said and ma'am said. I think ye TOD concept also is something we have borrowed very recently from America. At the end of the day, we were looking at good city planning principles जो आप बोल रहे हैं कि कहीं पे economics होना चाहिए, कहीं पे होना चाहिए, where we're looking at Kapil talking about Karkarduma. I'm just putting that out there that our own Indian urbanism principles were not guiding our planning at all. तो इसलिए हम उठाने लग गए हैं. We're just taking next will be, अगर next conference probably we're talking about the 15-minute city which Paris did. This trend which we are sort of looking at, I'm just putting it out there as a discussion point, that it's a fundamental vacuum that we're right now facing कि हमारा urban planning, Indian urbanism paradigm is not being innovated or developed. So just put it out there.
So now what we are actually trying to, our search is for looking for innovative entrepreneur and high performance cities. How we can get that. All the mobilities and settlements, all that is basically the tool, the ways to reach there. So how do we do it? So here what it is that we have studied this. There are three main parameters which we take it, which is that the density, proximities, and diversities. And then there are various sub-parameters. And what we try to do is that we simulate various new systems. We study new systems, how we do it. And then the whole idea is to create a quality of life, innovation, and sustainabilities within the cities.